If you have a Louet David 2 floor loom like I do, it has a gliding beater, and what tends to happen is over time with projects that you're weaving on, as you weave you notice that the beater stops gliding as well as it first did. So your beater actually sits on these metal rods and it glides back and forth, so there's no swinging action with this particular beater. And as you weave, of course, you're losing little bits of fibre, and over time this can cause a bit of a build-up on those metal rods. And this begins to manifest as like a stiff beater. There's an easy fix for this. Now, if you go on the Louet website, which I did when I first noticed this problem a long time ago when I actually bought this loom, they recommend that you take the gliding beater off, take the rods out of the place, and you get a toothbrush and some warm water and soap and clean the actual plastic inserts inside the wood, inside the hole where the gliding beaters sit. Now, I admit that I've never actually done this because I have a different kind of a fix for it, and this works so well that I don't need to do that extra step of the toothbrush and soap and water. So I use a lubricant along the rods to clean them, but there's a key aspect to the type of lubricant that you use that is going to be important, and that is that it's not silicone based. So the one that I use is an Australian product. It's called Inox, also called Lanox, and it's a lanolin based anti-corrosion lubricant. If you're in another country, I'm sure you could probably find something quite similar. Just remember to steer clear of the silicone, steer clear of anything acidic, toxic, corrosive, or petroleum based. And of course, if you're using a new lubricant, you are going to want to test it on a small area first. But this is very straightforward to use. I don't spray directly onto the rods. I don't even have to move the beater out of place. I spray the lubricant onto a clean cloth and I just wipe that along the rods back and forth a couple of times, and then I do the same thing on the other side. Now, when I come to sit back down and start weaving again, I have to be careful because this method works so well that the beater just flies along the gliding rods. If your beater's been a little bit sticky or a little bit stiff, then you have to be careful not to pull too hard on the beater after it's been cleaned, because this really does work so well. And then you're good to go for a good while again. How often I do this, it really depends on how many projects I'm weaving on this loom. If I'm using it frequently, like project after project, then I'll probably do it once per project, depending also on how long the project is, how the beater feels. I just let the beater tell me. I don't have any set schedule with cleaning. If the beater starts to feel a little bit stiff, then I'll think, I think I will put some lubricant on. When I spray the lubricant onto the cloth, you only need a very little bit. And sometimes I will even just take the cloth that I've used previously and I'll find the part where I sprayed on it. You'll be able to see because there'll be a mark. And I'll just use that again without even spraying on it again. And it still really helps to free up the beater. After a couple of times of doing that, you would want to refresh the spray again. So I hope this helps someone, and I will put the link to the exact lubricant that I use down below, even if you can't get it, just so that you can have a look, maybe have a look at the ingredients and try to get something similar in your area. Until next time, happy weaving.